Friday, October 21st, 2016. Just after noon on the US East Coast. Without warning, Twitter goes dark. Reddit stops loading. Netflix won't stream. CNN, dead. The internet is falling apart. Millions of people across the US and Europe suddenly lose access to dozens of major websites. A full-blown digital apocalypse. Site after site, gone. Engineers scramble. Is it a glitch? A hack? Something worse? By nightfall, the truth emerges. This isn't just a bug. It's one of the largest cyber attacks in internet history. The prime suspects? Russia, China, maybe anonymous. But no, the internet broke. Because of Minecraft. Not a nation state. Not a military. A feud between gamers. And the kid who launched it? He might live next door. So who was he? And how did a Minecraft player almost shut down the internet? Minecraft is a blocky kids game, on the surface. But it's grown into a massive online universe. Players around the world connect to thousands of independently run Minecraft servers to build, compete, and socialize. Running a Minecraft server? It's not just a hobby. It's a money machine. Players pay real money for in-game perks or to join special servers, and a well-run server can rake in serious cash. Some servers were making $100,000 a month. That's real cash from virtual blocks. In this booming underground economy, competition is cutthroat. If one server lags or goes offline, frustrated players will flock to another. So some server operators resort to sabotage. In the shady underbelly of Minecraft, an arms race is underway. Rival server owners deploy cyber attacks to knock each other's servers offline, hoping to steal players and profits. These attacks are often DDoS attacks, flooding a server with so much fake traffic that it crashes, kicking everyone off. A DDoS, or distributed denial of service attack, uses a network of hijacked devices to overwhelm a target with traffic until it can't cope. And where there's chaos, there's money. A whole industry of DDoS for hire services popped up. Some caused the attacks, others sold protection from them. In 2016, one young Minecraft server owner decided to win this arms race once and for all. He went by the alias Anna Senpai. By day, he was a college student in New Jersey, a 20-year-old computer science major named Paras. He even ran a small company that sold DDoS protection to Minecraft servers, giving him a front-row seat to the constant online firefights. Paras wasn't just fighting for server dominance. He was chasing something else: control, validation, maybe even power. What happens when a gamer with god-complex fantasies builds a weapon the world can't stop? Along with a few online friends, this teenager quietly began building a cyber weapon to dominate the Minecraft server scene. They coded a piece of malware and sent it crawling across the internet, hijacking hundreds of thousands of devices to create a digital army at their command. This type of malicious network is called a botnet, essentially an army of zombie gadgets infected with malware that obey a master computer. They found these devices everywhere: China, Brazil, even your neighbor's house. And with a few lines of code, they hijacked them. By late summer 2016, Anna Senpai's botnet was almost ready, and it was enormous. In its first 20 hours, their malware had infected over 65,000 devices, doubling in size every 76 minutes. At its peak, the botnet would include an estimated 300,000 to 600,000 compromised machines around the world. Each device could fire garbage data at any target on command. Individually, a hacked webcam isn't much. But 300,000 of them at once? They can overwhelm almost anything. Paras and his collaborators named their creation Mirai, the Japanese word for future. He later admitted he named it after a favorite anime series. In hindsight, the name is fitting. Mirai represented the future of cyber warfare, a new kind of threat that few people saw coming. As Mirai swelled in size, Paras knew he was poised to do something big. He built this botnet to take out his Minecraft rivals to win a petty feud over online bragging rights. What he didn't realize was that he was holding a new kind of internet superweapon in his hands, and he was about to pull the trigger. Paras thought he was building the ultimate cheat code, a way to win a feud. What he didn't realize was that he had just built a weapon powerful enough to knock entire countries offline. Mirai's first test came in September 2016, and it announced itself with a bang. Paris and his friends chose their targets, not other Minecraft kids, but some of the biggest tech infrastructure providers on the planet. Their goal was to show off Mirai's firepower and to take down services that were shielding their Minecraft enemies. In late September, they pointed Mirai at a French cloud company called OVH, which happened to host a popular Minecraft server protection service. In an instant, Mirai swarmed OVH's networks with fake traffic, over 1 terabit per second at its peak, an absolutely staggering volume. At that moment, it was the largest DDoS in history. The company's defenses struggled. Even its advanced DDoS mitigation filter, nicknamed VAC, was overwhelmed. Mirai had just done the unthinkable. It brought one of the world's largest hosting companies to its knees. And Mirai was just getting started. A few days later, the attackers took aim at a high-profile target closer to home, the website of prominent cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs. Krebs had recently published exposés on cybercriminal networks, and perhaps as a show of bravado or revenge, Paris unleashed Mirai on KrebsOnSecurity.com. The site was slammed with a torrent of traffic measuring up to 665 gigabits per second, instantly knocking it offline. The assault was so massive that Krebs's longtime DDoS protection provider had to drop him, and his site went dark. The message was clear. Mirai was the new beast on the block, and no one was out of reach. By now, the cybersecurity community was on high alert. Major DDoS mitigation firms and law enforcement agencies noticed the colossal attacks and asked, who could be behind this? At first, many assumed only a nation-state could be responsible. In truth, the biggest attacks were coming from Paris and his small crew of Minecraft misfits, but nobody knew that yet. What everyone did know was that Mirai posed a dire new threat. Paris could sense the heat closing in. Every brazen attack made headlines and invited more scrutiny from investigators. Keeping Mirai a secret was getting harder by the day. The smart move would be to lay low, but Mirai's creators chose a different path. They decided to cover their tracks by open-sourcing Mirai's code. In early October 2016, using his Anna Senpai handle, Paris released Mirai's source code on an underground hacking forum. He accompanied it with a brief note that struck a triumphant yet wary tone. When I first got into the DDoS industry, I wasn't planning on staying long, he wrote. I made my money. There's lots of eyes looking at IoT now, so it's time to GTFO. In other words, he had milked this scheme for what it was worth, and with security researchers closing in, lots of eyes on IoT, it was time to get out of the game. By dumping Mirai online for free, Paris likely hoped to obscure his own involvement. Once dozens of copycats started using the code, who could pin the original attacks on him? It was a bold gambit. Release the deadliest DDoS weapon into the wild and slip away amidst the chaos. But it didn't take long for the plan to backfire. By sharing Mirai with the world, Paris had effectively handed a loaded gun to anyone who wanted to make chaos on the internet. Within days, criminal hackers and mischief makers around the globe grabbed the Mirai code and set up their own botnets. Mirai variants started popping up and the targets expanded beyond the Minecraft world. The original architects of Mirai, Paraz and his friends, lay low, watching from the shadows as their creation spread uncontrolled. But they weren't the only ones watching. Because soon, Mirai would trigger a moment the internet would never forget. Mirai was no longer a secret. It was a loaded weapon, and anyone could now fire it. Then, just 3 weeks later, someone fired it. And the internet broke. October 21st, 2016. That morning, as people booted up their computers and phones, they noticed popular sites weren't working. Twitter, Netflix, Reddit, and many others were unresponsive. It wasn't a glitch. It was Mirai, now in the hands of unknown actors, launching a massive attack on DIN, a company that serves as a backbone of the internet. DIN operates critical DNS servers, basically the internet's phone book. It connects the name you type to the actual computer address behind it. Kill DNS, and the whole web stops working. The attack came in waves throughout the day, rolling across the east coast of the US and then to parts of Europe. People on social media were asking, is the internet down? For many, it sure felt like it. The DIN attack was different, bigger, smarter, and global. Dine later estimated that 100,000 or more malicious devices were blasting it with traffic, possibly over 1 terabit per second of data, an even bigger flood than the record-setting OVH attack. The assault ripped through the web, disrupting online services across large swaths of the United States and Europe. For nearly an entire day, major websites went offline or struggled to stay up. It was one of the largest outages in internet history, all caused by a weapon that, just weeks before, had been aimed at petty Minecraft squabbles. Now it was hitting the phone book of the internet, and everyone from ordinary gamers to Fortune 500 companies felt the impact. Panic and confusion spread in tech circles. Was this the start of a cyber war? The timing was ominous, just weeks before a major election, and many feared a state-sponsored cyber war test. But the real explanation was almost absurd. This chaos was collateral damage from a gamer feud. The Mirai botnet, born out of a Minecraft server rivalry, had been let loose, and someone, possibly another gamer or a disgruntled hacker, had pointed it at Din. One cybersecurity director later said that when Din was hit, engineers across the industry snapped to attention. They realized this wasn't just a one-company problem. This could put the entire internet at risk. And somewhere, a college kid was watching it unfold. Mirai had forced the internet's guardians into crisis mode. By the end of October 21st, the worst had passed. Din recovered, and services flickered back online. The immediate threat was over, but the wake-up call had been delivered loud and clear. This was not a theoretical scenario or a drill. A major chunk of the internet really had been knocked out. And as investigators began to pick up the pieces, the question on everyone's mind was, who on earth was responsible for this? Evidence quickly pointed to the Mirai malware, but Mirai's source code was public and anyone could be using it now. The Din attack, it turned out, was launched by some unknown party using Mirai. To this day, that specific attacker hasn't been conclusively identified. But the creator of Mirai, the person who wrote this weapon and set it free, that trail was growing hot. The world was still in shock, but behind the scenes, the FBI was closing in, and soon, the real identity of Anna Senpai would be exposed. The hunt for Mirai's mastermind was already underway. Din attack, a multi-agency task force, including FBI agents and cybersecurity experts from companies like Google and Cloudflare, had been tracking the mysterious botnet since the record-breaking attacks in September. They noticed something curious early on. A lot of Mirai's targets had a connection to Minecraft. The investigators found themselves plunging into the bizarre world of Minecraft server wars and DDoS schemes. Elliot Peterson, an FBI agent on the case, later recalled asking, "Why are these Minecraft servers getting hit so often?" That question led them down a rabbit hole. As they dug deeper, they realized the Minecraft economy was huge and viciously competitive, exactly the kind of environment where a weapon like Mirai could emerge. Working together, the FBI and security researchers set up traps, honeypots, to study Mirai's behavior and trace its command signals. By watching the botnet in action, they started uncovering clues. Meanwhile, cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs had a name, Paras Jha, a 21-year-old college student, a Minecraft player, and the creator of the tool that nearly broke the web. With intelligence from researchers and Krebs's findings, authorities closed in. In late 2017, a year after the internet outage, the case finally broke open. Paras Jha and 2 co-conspirators pleaded guilty in an Alaska courtroom to federal charges for creating and operating the Mirai botnet. It was a bizarre finale. The biggest cyber attack of 2016 had been orchestrated not by enemy nations or elite hackers, but by 3 college kids working from their dorm rooms and basements. Their motive was not espionage or warfare. It was simply to gain an edge in Minecraft. As part of their plea, Paras and his friends admitted that they built Mirai to knock out rival Minecraft servers. In the end, because they cooperated with the FBI on other cybersecurity investigations, Paras Jha and his co-conspirators received relatively lenient punishment, avoiding prison time and serving their sentences on probation and community service. But their names would forever be linked to one of the internet's most infamous attacks. The Mirai case sent shockwaves through the cybersecurity world. A teenager obsessed with a video game had inadvertently created a tool that almost anyone could use to threaten the stability of the internet. If that doesn't make us rethink our security priorities, what will? Mirai is a cautionary tale. It began as a petty vendetta in an online game that spiraled into a global crisis, exposing how fragile the internet can be. A young man's attempt to win a Minecraft feud ended up unleashing a monster that brought down major pillars of the web. The Mirai attacks became one of the biggest wake-up calls in cybersecurity history, revealing alarming vulnerabilities in our connected world. Millions of ordinary IoT gadgets, security cameras, baby monitors, home routers, were quietly hijacked via default passwords and turned into unwitting accomplices of a cyber attack. Mirai proved that a few tech-savvy kids with bad intentions could disrupt the lives of millions. But the lesson of Mirai remains urgent. Our digital world's strength is also its weakness. Everything is interconnected. A feud in a video game shouldn't be able to knock entire countries offline. Yet Mirai proved it could. Paris didn't plan to break the internet. But once Mirai was unleashed, not even he could stop it. A petty gaming feud became a global wake-up call. And it all started with a single Minecraft server. The internet survived Mirai's onslaught, but it will never forget the day a gamer known as Anna Senpai brought much of the online world to its knees. If you thought this story was wild, wait until you hear how a teenager hacked the GTA 6 itself from his bedroom. That story is right here.